In order to... Salutations everyone, Money Making Mike G, telling everyone hello. We're here at the shop today with my brother-in-laws, Thoma and Cash Costas, the one and only. And today, this is part one of our video series on the Scrambler 850 transformation. And today we're going to do, Thoma?
Lift kit. High lifter 2-inch lift kit.
High lifter 2-inch lift kit. So if you guys are ever interested in adding or installing a lift kit to your Scrambler, we hope that this video will help you guys along the way. We'll try to be informative as we can. Like, comment, subscribe, ask as many questions as you want down in the comment section, and we will reply to every comment regardless of how old the video is. So hit that like button. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you dislike it, hit the button twice and subscribe, guys. Money Making Mike G, deuces.
Okay, the prep is on. Hopefully the dancers in the back are not performing for us right now, but right now we're
jacking
it up.
You don't even know
We're jacking it up right now. Get it ready for the lift. We got the Polaris new 3500 series winch for this ATV. We got a couple snatch kits. We have the new 1/4-inch rope that we're gonna put on that. We have a tiger tail for the Scrambler with the tiger tail extension, which you're gonna need for it to be installed. So we got a couple videos coming after this. Make sure you tune in. I'm sure it's gonna be very entertaining. Please subscribe and hit that like button.
Guys, and what we want to tell you is, this is the way we do it. You can do it your own way. We don't even recommend that you do it this way. We're just showing you how this is how we do it. Now, you can use an impact gun to take these lug nuts off, but we like loosening them by hand and using a thin wall socket to go in there so you don't nick the powder coating to the rim, because once you nick that powder coating with your impact gun, because you're too lazy to use a little bit of elbow grease, eventually that whole coating is going to corrode and start to peel off your rim. So just 2 cents worth of advice, guys.
So the first step we're going to do is jack the vehicle up as we already have, and make sure it's secure on 4 jack stands. And as you can see, Mike right now is starting to take off the wheels and tires, and we're going to get started.
Recommend, guys, is safety first. So I have my Husky, shameless plug, gloves on, and my PPE, my Ray-Bans. Never leave home without them. You guys all know I even mow with these suckers. And keep a clean workspace, that's key.
So this is our high lifter kit from Atlantic City Cycles. I want to show you that these are the sway bar links, all the brackets are in there, hardware, high lifter stickers, made in America sticker, very important.
All right, guys, so we're either on the step 2, 3, whatever. So regardless, we're on the next step.
So our first instinct was to jack it up under the A-arm. So, but later on realized when we go to disconnect these bolts from the shock, that all the weight's on these bolts and we'll never ever get it to put the brackets back on. So best to jack it up under the frame. Our first step is to remove these lower shock bolts with a 15mm socket and a 15mm wrench. And I already loosened this side up. Mike is working on his side right now. Take a little weight off the hub here, and there you go, it's free. So the next step is to remove this clamp holding the brake line to alleviate all stress from the brake line after the ATV is lifted. So there you go. This is all free, and that's it. So after we disconnected the brake line, next step is stick the lift brackets, little 1-inch spacer, the bolts. And, we're just gonna slide them in. Slide the bracket in like that. Set the bolt up. And slide that through the spacer. And then slide the other bracket on. All right.
Okay guys, and your first instinct will be, once you finally get everything mounted up and fabricated, to get excited and tighten one side down all the way. Don't do that. I know it's exciting to say, oh, we're done a side. Just hand tighten everything on there, make sure it lines up, and then we can go over, get the other side rectified and lined up, and then we'll come back and snug everything down.
So now they're tightening up very slightly the fronts. So really didn't take too much time to actually do this high lifter kit. So I would say in actuality, guys, with two of you on it, it's about a what? The fronts might take you what, maybe 45 minutes?
That's very, very much overestimated. But again, we didn't RTF them.
So this is good stuff. So stay tuned. We're going to be doing the rears real soon.
So we went ahead and tightened everything down. So this is how it looks when you're all done. So everything all tightened down. Brake line's loose. We're gonna zip tie it to the A-arm with the supplied zip ties. And that's it, guys. That's the front, all done.
The new brackets attaching to the gussets actually will mount to the top. That side shouldn't give us a problem. This side, we got Mr. Muffler in the way.
And if you ever wondered why shops are always clean when they're working, this is why.
And the entire time we're reading the manual, we're deciding whether we're going to tackle the easier side to kind of learn how to do it, or reference the manual real quick and try to tackle the side with the exhaust, which is going to be more challenging than the other side. So, like again, when you guys are doing it, that's another decision you're going to have to make.
So, front's all done. We readjusted the jack stands, and we went ahead and started removing the top shock bolt. And we're gonna have to remove this next. The next step after that will be to install the other sway bar, a mount, and the other brackets for the lift. So we ran into a little bit of a problem with the sway bar links. So High Lifter doesn't make a kit for the Scrambler. They make a kit for the Sportsman, but they use it for the Scrambler. The only problem we ran into is this sway bar link right here. This is the factory one. This is the High Lifter one. On the Sportsman, it looks more like this, where you have the two bolts coming into the bottom. Scrambler has two nuts. So now we have to modify these nuts.
All right, so at this point, after Tom has done his modifications, we got the sway bar on there, and we just needed to grab the A-arm for a second and lift it, because obviously you guys can see it's on an angle. We just needed to lift it a hair so the sway bar and the bolt going into it matches up completely. And we are referencing the manual at this point because we've ran into a couple of hiccups, and it does say to completely install that before we move on to the bracket portion up near the top of the shock tower.
So again, real quick, Tom, explain to them what you had to do to modify it from a Sportsman application to a Scrambler application.
We had to remove the nuts off the bushings, and we did that by taking this off the bushing and drilling out the back of it. And then we used the bolts from the shocks, the factory bolts from the shocks, to mount that on.
Now we're realizing why the new brackets actually have an inlay carved out, because they're actually going to slide over the gussets that are welded on there, brackets, whatever you want to call it. So in fact, just like we did on the front, they're going to slide up in here. The stock bolts are going to go through that location, and then the other bolts are going to mount to the top of the shock tower. Again, pushing the wheel down, which will bring the frame and the bike up, giving you your lift.
So, real quick recap. This is definitely not a Sportsman's exhaust, okay? So that's another thing that they had to come up against, and the two of them did accordingly. As you can see, so now they're tightening up the last bracket, the last two bolts on this. There's a reason why this was tightened from the beginning. And what was that for, Mike?
So in the instructions, they tell you to mount this first because it takes a lot of the stress off of this A-arm, which in turn helps you manipulate the shock in the position in order to slip. The first bolt slipping through into the brackets is simple. It's always the shock bolt that's going to fight you the most. And again, that's why they tell you to mount this first, because it takes a lot of the weight off the A-arm, making it much easier to manipulate the shock. Surprisingly, this side was a lot easier than we thought with the muffler being in the way.
Depending on how old your bike is, how many miles, etc., some of this stuff will not come off this easy. So, you know, in a way we did get lucky, because if this was a really aged unit, it's a 2013, but it's very low mileage, very low use. I think it's got about 260 miles on it. So this is a Polaris Scrambler. You're buying a kit for a sportsman. So there's some little slight modifications that the instructions do not tell you.
So here we go, guys. We're done with the lift kit. Just a recap here, because this is a sportsman kit. We had to get new longer hardware for the sway bar links in the back, but it's all done, all set. In the description below, we'll mention what size hardware you need for the sway bar links.
You can see a tremendous difference. Right now we're running 27-inch tires. When we come back, after you subscribe and you like our video, we're gonna put up the 30-inch tires, 30s, silverback 2s. So I have a feeling that we're gonna have to trim just a little bit here on this fender flare. But otherwise, look at the distance. It's unbelievable. I mean, for a 2-inch lift, it has transformed the quad 100%. So we had a couple issues, which Big Tom told you guys about. We just got to make sure that you purchase, we're going to give that in the description, new hardware for the sway bar links. Am I correct, guys? And now you have yourself a 2-inch high lifter edition Scrambler. So get ready for the next modifications that are coming up soon, including a brand new clutch. We're gonna put a new winch on it, and Big Tom's gonna put his snorkel system on. So coming real soon. And also, our favorite part, we're gonna put the Tiger Tail adapter on, and of course the Tiger Tail. So smash that button and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Guys, so just so you know, we're starting on that Scrambler series right now, series 1 of possibly 3. We're also going to be installing a new winch with the new 1/4 inch rope. We are going to show you how to use it and install a Tiger Tail properly. And up. So we're about to start this install on the Scrambler 850 with the 2-inch high lifter lift kit. We're going to have 2 more videos right after that. We're going to show you how to properly install a new winch and how to install a Tiger Tail on a Polaris, because the Polaris doesn't come.
So step 1 is to safely jack up the ATV with 4 jacks. Our first instinct was to put the jack stands up. This is the factory sway bar link. It has 2 nuts that attach top and bottom. This is the new sway bar link.
I wish I had 2 nuts.
So
3, 2, 1,
5 nuts.
So we ran into a little problem with the sway bar links.
6 hands and 5 nuts. True story.
So we ran into a little problem with the sway bar links. This is the factory sway bar link on a Scrambler. This is the new sway bar link on the high lifter kit. The kit is made for Yo, so this is the this is the sway bar link from the kit. The factory sports man. The factory sportsman sway bar link is this big. Is this Jesus Christ, man.
Oh. That's so funny.
High Lifter doesn't make a kit for the Scrambler. They make a kit for the Sportsman, but they use it for the Scrambler. The only problem we ran into is this sway bar link right here. This is the factory one. This is the High Lifter one. On the Sportsman, it looks more like this, where you have 2 bolts coming into the bottom. Scrambler has 2 nuts. So now we have to modify these nuts.
We gotta modify these nuts in order to fit the kit.